Oh, man, I love the game of golf. It was a beautiful day out here today, wasn't it, baby girl? You didn't think it was a nice day today?
Well, I am sweating all over, so no, I didn't really think it was.
Well, I mean, you got to drive the car. You got to drive the car, and it did have the hood on it, so it kept the sun off of you.
Yeah, but it had no air conditioning.
Well, okay, fair enough. So, we're going to get something to eat, right?
Of course.
Cool.
And you're obviously paying, right?
Always. Man, golf is a fun sport. Hey, I drove the ball pretty well today, don't you think?
Pretty well to the far right, yeah.
But, okay, even though I went right, my iron game was really good, and I was able to fight my way out of that.
Yeah, but you hit it into the sand, and you did that quite often, might I add.
Even when I went in the sand, my chip was really tight, so I was able to get out of there and get close to the flag.
After 3 times.
You have to admit, though, my putting game was really good, and it saved me a lot of the times from all of the bad hits I had out in the fairway.
And it only took you 11 holes. Listen, until you get a good golfing game, I'm going to keep giving you shit.
I'm improving. I mean, since I've gotten started, haven't I got a lot better?
Yes, you've gotten better since your injury.
We don't have to talk about my shoulder, but I mean, that's another reason why it's coming along slowly, but, you know, I'm going to get it. I'm going to get it.
Sure.
Hey, baby girl, I'm about to go hop in the shower. When I get out, we head out to the volleyball tournament, okay?
Okay. Oh, can I use my the computer?
Oh, yeah, of course, baby. Of course. Hey, baby girl.
Yeah.
Repetition breeds familiarity.
Familiarity breeds comfort. Comfort breeds complacency or success. We're going for the latter rather than the former.
All right, good deal. Handle business.
Okay.
Hey, remember you're a beast out there. Act like it.
I will.
All right.
Let me see what he got in these emails. Spam. Overdue bills. Not surprised. Fuck the police coming straight from the underground. Young nigga got it bad 'cause he's broke. What is this? Sarah? Linda? Becky? Amber? Amy? Molly? Ginger? Heather? Karen? Oh, hell no. We are not having this. No, I don't want no Pancake Tuesdays. Oh God, delete. No, I do not want your lemon bars, Karen. Oh, my dad's gonna get...
Do you have strong opinions and you're looking for a way to express them? Are you tired of carbon copy sports radio that infests the airwaves? Do you have creative concepts and ideas that you want to share with the world? Then this is not the commercial for you. This commercial is all about
Kinko's University.
That's right. Kinko's University gets you prepared for the podcasting world when you don't have the chops for it. If you're one of the many people looking to get into podcasting, but you just don't have the skill, Kinko's University is the university for you.
I want to do a podcast, but where do I start? And what do I talk about? Kinko's University.
Don't worry. Here at Kinko's University, the first thing we teach you about is OPP. That's right. Other people's perspective. So you can always have something to talk about getting it from another source.
Podcasting looks fun, but do I really have to do all that research and show prep? Kinko's University.
Absolutely not. Here at Kinko's, we have classes like No Preparation 101, where we teach you to get around all of that pesky show prep because we know you don't have the time.
I wonder what the best time slot is to get the most listeners. Kinko's University.
Don't worry. Here at Kinko's, we have a class called Recycling Ideas 101, where you can find a time slot that works and just jump in that slot to try to make it happen for yourself.
Kinko's University. I want to come up with new content and subject matter, but I'm not that creative.
Kinko's University.
You'll also take Regurgitation 101, which will help you come up with other people's subject matter that you can recycle and make your own. That's right, here at Kinko's, we teach you how to get around hard work, getting new wrinkles in your brain, and having to work hard at your craft. Come to Kinko's, where you can take these top courses with top teachers. Most people that go to Kinko's graduate with Kinko's degrees, that's right, as master copiers. Kinko's University, for the skilled impaired.
Kinko's University is not a real university and is not accredited. You don't actually learn any skills. You just learn how to mimic people who have actual skill.
Underground Railroad Show with that ninja. All aboard, have your tickets ready because the train has arrived. Delayed or on time, it's time to get on board.
What's going on, fam? This is the Underground Railroad Show hosted by your boy, That Ninja. Thank you for coming aboard and rolling with me. Truly appreciate it. Right off the bat, my apologies for Monday. Life was lifing. My apologies for yesterday. Life was lifing. I'll keep it simple. Let's get off of that. Thank you for coming aboard. As I said previously, during pigskin season, generally speaking, I'm only going to give you pigskin. I'm only going to give you football on my usual show, my normal show that runs on Monday, and I'll attempt to do a bonus show for the extra content. Today's an exception. I have an opening about the current state of America, current state of Amerikkka, current state of affairs, some events that have happened, some of the reaction, and just re-emphasizing something that has been said on the train on multiple occasions. I'd just like to point out some things that I don't think I'd call it hypocrisy, but I'd say conflicting behaviors. Something I would describe as conflicting behaviors, or simply things that I don't understand. As far as some of the reactions, some of the how would I say it? Some of the stances that have been taken. And just the reaction of Black people in general on certain things. So I'd just like to discuss some of those things, along the lines. I'll do it wrapped in a couple of posts that I saw, and I'll just go from there. I won't be long-winded, but I'm just going to give you some quick thoughts about it. And a lot of it, for those that ride the train on a semi-regular basis, is repetitive because this is all I really talk about. My biggest problem is misinformation. I've spoken over and over again about how it should be infuriating that the ancestors of the people that we were at war with for all of these years, and still going if you're paying attention, are deciding how, when, and where our history is taught. And this was way before they started with all the bullshit. And I'll tie that into what I'm going to get into when I discuss Charlie Kirk, some of the reactions, and just America in general. Black America and America's whites. And again, as I said many times, you can't fix a problem if you don't address it. And even with this situation, I still don't see the problem being addressed directly. And that's an issue. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to read those two posts that I got two posts I'm going to read. And then I'm going to give you thoughts on said posts. It's going to take me a couple of places. I'll do introductions. We'll read chat. And if time pending, I'll try to get into some pigskin because even when I go straight football, I don't get into everything. I'm trying to be concise, but I go on rants and I haven't really talked about things. So I imagine once I get started, I'm probably going to get a little heated. But I can't. One of the main reasons I do the show, again, I talk about sports, but I haven't taken the time to just write out the description. Hi, I'm Torsten Tor, and my show has this subject matter, and I haven't even taken the time to put that shit on there. So you probably can't look and see that, but it's really whatever's popping. And I'm constantly speaking about what's going on in Black America because I hate the way it gets talked about with a filter. If the people that we elect and or are presented as our so-called representatives, if the only thing that they ever do is use get along speak, if the only thing they ever do is filter their words through the I don't want to offend white America lens, nothing will ever get done because you can't be worried about offending the offender. Let's just go here. I'm just going to go ahead and get started. So Charlie Kirk. Now, slight disappointment as I noticed that some entities I hope would have discussed that didn't. Some spoke around it. Some went PC. I'm annoyed and aggravated that if you don't learn your history, you're doomed to repeat it. I'm annoyed that white America is still running the same game, and to some level it works on a large number of us. And that's extremely frustrating. It's always the same bait and switch. I don't mind being a completely fucked up person, but I'm going to play victim when you point out that I'm a fucked up person. When Obama was elected, white America's little motto, their company line was "He divided America." Barack Obama divided this country with his racist rhetoric and always discussing color. No, he never discussed color. Not enough for us. But Barack Obama did not divide America. No black person has ever divided America. This is America. Nothing that black people have done, are doing, or have done dictates the behavior of the whites. Let me say that again. Nothing that we have done, will do, or have ever done dictates the behavior of the whites. That throws away. That's why they do that, because y'all doing stuff like this. That's not relevant. That's an old white trick. Y'all did this, so we're doing this. Really? Flipping that logic, if we talked about the behavior of the whites and clumped them all together as they're allowed to do with us in the minds of some black people, we have more than enough cause to act in a much more vitriol way than them. If we're speaking about behaviors and pretending to be dumb and one person did this, so I'm going to pretend like the whole race is doing it. These are all excuses to be who you are. These are all excuses to be the person that you were raised to be. If you're in this climate, turning a blind eye to police murder of black people, turning a blind eye to a crooked justice system, turning a blind eye. If we mention blacks being disproportionately locked up, the average white response is what? That's because you're committing crimes. Oh, you're not biased in any way. Even the best white people that I know have inherent biases. And instead of being offended by that, you should listen to understand. But I know full well it's not about understanding. You don't want to understand. As Malcolm X said, you want us to suffer peacefully. We know we're fucked up, but don't bring it up. We know we voted in a terrorist, a rapist, a race baiter, somebody that actually is dividing the country. Again, the whites with their bullshit. Every white person that is screaming that Obama divided the country and all of these things. One of their favorite, one of the very few traditions that actually exist in this country. They love deflection. They love to project all the bullshit that they do on everybody else. Every stereotype they try to project on black people is what they do and who the hell they are through action. Everything. Supporting people because of their color, that is white people. That's all they do. That's all they know. When black people get in a position to hire people, we never act like that. Most of the ninjas that get in that position break their neck not to hire other black people. There's an HBCU not too far away from me that will remain nameless that may or may not have people in an authoritative position that have that mentality. Allegedly, well, not allegedly, the president is a big fan of Kay Ivey. That lets you know everything you need to know. But I digress. Point being that Obama didn't divide the country. He just upset poorly raised white people so much with his appearance that you came out of the closet. You were tired of pretending to be a decent person. The only thing that black people being put in those positions or white people being made to be a little uncomfortable, which they're so fragile they can't take, and this applies to who it applies to. If it doesn't apply to you, you should be fine. If you're offended, I don't think I give a fuck. Again, when talking about Charlie Kirk, you pretend like his race baiting and hate speech was some type of debate. But if I calmly tell you the truth, you act like a bitch. And I can say this because, again, I have these discussions. I don't go surface. And you can't have it. They will not talk. At one point, you're going to have to raise your voice because they're going to act like children. They actually feel like it's an attack to hear truthful things about people they'd like to pretend were heroes. The truth is, in America, the people that white people admire and hold up are the people that if we had a chance, we'd shoot in the face. And we'd be right to do so. You can't have that conflict and pretend like we're supposed to have the same mentality. It's goofy. George Washington ripped the teeth out of his slaves' mouths. I'm probably not going to consider him the father of the country. I'm going to look at him like the terrorist he was. I digress. Back to the point. The deflection and never being accountable for your behavior is incredible. The rationalization of ignorance is incredible. The way they can ignore, and this is what I mean by white people being inherently biased. Even the best white people that I know do not have the same empathy for black people that they do for white people. And again, I know the snap reaction that this country causes because, again, I understand that we're dealing with mental warfare on a daily basis. I get it. And I know a lot of us are very confused. And I'm really more upset with this country and what it's done to us than I am with those people. But again, the entire you did this, so now I feel like that thing. The entire okay. The way that they can look at what happens to us, the way that they can see black murder, black mistreatment, even if they don't participate, they turn a blind eye to it, rationalize it, or justify it. But the empathy I've seen or that I see for the type of people that they should hate is incredible. And Charlie Kirk is an example of that. One quick second. I'm going to need 1 quick second. Sorry about this. Give me 1 quick second, and I'm going to elaborate. I have two posts I want to read, and they're kind of a reflection of just a reminder of a lot of things. Again, why I don't think we should hold our tongue, and why, quite frankly, why people don't deserve all of the grace that we give them. Not the one. 1 second, please. I apologize. 1 second, and let's do this.
Hello, good people. This is a PSA from TSA. You are listening to the Underground Railroad Show at Spreaker.com. I am the great TSA with my assistant, That Ninja. I'm sorry for the lack of attendance. I was busy spiking faces and beating data dominoes. TSA out.
My apologies. Now, when discussing the state of America, I think it's crucial at this point that we need to understand, we meaning Black people, as a people, we need to understand that this delusion of not really empathy, but human decency that we think we're going to get from this country, as a people, we really need to let that go and act accordingly. When a stupid ass white person kills another stupid ass white person, you still got white people mad at Black America. You can't reason with that type of stupidity. And you don't show passion for that type of stupidity. This is America. America. And America was what it was before we did anything. And I'm so frustrated every time. I'm not worried about them. They're crazy. But when a ninja accepts a ninja said or did this, so they did that. I'll give you another one. Whenever something happens, one of the biggest cop-outs, one of the most cowardice things you can say, when a white person does something egregious to a Black person and you hear somebody scream, that's why you have to vote. You don't vote out. You don't vote away poor upbringing. Please stop me if I'm lying. You don't vote away ignorance. You don't vote away hate. Nothing that I type and check on a box, type on a computer is going to fix poorly raised, ignorant ass people that think Charlie Kirk was a great fucking debater. You're not fixing that with voting. Let's get into it. First post. This post is from an American white who I'm familiar with. I'll leave it at that. They may or may not have a child that played volleyball with my child. So again, we're talking about the environment, the people you go to school with, how their kids are raised, the way their parents think, how you think they're your friend, and maybe you grow up and you find out something different. I mean, it depends. But these are the people that teach our kids, that are the friends of their parents, that are so-called good people, smiling people that think they're the salt of the earth. And they say something like this, and I'm truly trying to figure out, is this a quiet little, hey, I'm with you thing, or are you really this stupid? Or is it just like I just said, an inherent bias? Because the nicest thing I could say about this is they have an inherent bias. This is the post. I don't say much on here. I'm not good at expressing what I'm thinking or feeling or believing. Just in the past few weeks, I stumbled upon Charlie Kirk's videos. I was blown away. He was a guy that never went to college, was so young and so smart and articulate. He knew the Bible in and out. Let's stop right there. Let's stop right there. Let's stop right there.
You hear you? I hear you.
For all the good that you can use the Bible for, and this is why I do a religious show every year, you have to speak about the evil that people use it for. And people like this have always used the Bible to justify their fucking ignorance. But again, let's keep it pushing. He knew the Bible in and out. I don't know how that's relevant. He brought his beliefs to his debates, but he could just as easily use science and facts to get his point across. Well, goddamn. All right, then. Don't say a name. Don't say a name. I was really amazed at how calm he would be during a debate. I hate that his family will no longer have their husband, father, and son. It's harder to understand because it was so outrageous. Killing someone just because you don't like what they have to say. Stop. This oversimplification and white-splaining. I hate when y'all do this. Hate speech, race baiting. We're already in a country full of incredibly stupid white people. We're already dealing with racism on every level, and most white people don't. You act like you don't see it and get offended when we bring it up, and then you want to be looked at as something other than a piece of shit, which is crazy to me. All the bullshit he was saying, all the race bait, and all the hate speech. This person that is in society and looked at as a normal human being is just as fucked up as somebody running around with a goddamn flag and they think they're not, but they are. Because you might not commit the murder, but I guarantee you this person would turn their fucking head and act like they don't see it. Maybe shed a couple of bullshit tears. Maybe. And again, I'll even say this. America and America's whites have always killed and murdered white people that acted as if they had some kind of sense. If you were a semi-decent human being, the savage whites killed you as an example. They let Kyle Rittenhouse do it. The white people that marched because black people were being murdered by police and this system was walking them through and white America was ignoring it because they don't give a fuck because they're just as fucking ignorant. When that piece of shit cracker killed two people, I think they were both white. Shot one, maybe at least killed one. That's no different than when they killed white people that voted, the white people they called, what was the proper name back then? The Republican whites that joined with the blacks back then. I guess the whites that weren't ignorant, low-life pieces of shit that should have been burned alive. Those whites. They killed them just the same as an example. If you dare to be a decent person, I will kill you. You will be a piece of shit like me. This is America. Always has been. Nothing that we do or have ever done, they've always been fucked up. You see they shooting each other. They're mad at each other because, you know, you're not as big. It's just like the Joe Biden thing. Joe Biden's a piece of shit, whether you know that or not. Protege of a Klansman. And he wasn't ignorant enough for white America. They didn't like the fact that he was just as fucked up as them, but he wouldn't just say it. You know what I'm saying? They didn't like the fact that, why are you still, acting like you're decent? Don't do that. We're fighting back. Let's fight back. White people saying they need to fight back in this country. Again, I'm not done. Killing someone just because you don't like what they have to say. Such an oversimplification. And again, do we know why that crazy white person killed another piece of shit white person? We don't know that. Whites kill each other all the time. Don't you know there were several years in a row where somebody white killed somebody else white in their family because of the Alabama-Auburn game? I'm not joking. Every year there was an assault, not an assault, a murder or an attempted murder over the Alabama and Auburn game. White on white crime. The only difference is white people put out the content on the news. And again, let me finish. Killing someone just because you don't like what they have to say. Just because you don't agree. That's what happened, huh? That is, you don't like what they have to say just because you don't. Interesting. Okay. He made people think with his debate. People made him think. Unfortunately, there is evil in this world. Yeah, you want them. That doesn't want that. This bitch. There was another school shooting as well, and for some reason, some think we can't be sad and disgusted and angry about both. I don't know about you, but I can be sad and mad about a million different things at once. I'm not smart enough to know, and really only God knows why these things happen. Mental illness, evil in their hearts. I don't know. I think if you're celebrating the death of Mr. Kirk or of children or babies, you need help. You need God. Now, in her mind, I'm sure that's a really nice post. But you're cheering on somebody that doesn't give a fuck about my black ass. How am I supposed to look at you? Don't you know that most black people won't publicly support Minister Farrakhan because you're worried about what the whites think? And there's no equivalence here. Minister Farrakhan is a knowledgeable man that speaks truth. And that makes you public enemy number one in America. Donald Trump is an ignorant, racist piece of shit. They have nothing to do with each other. But white America has no problem openly supporting him. And they don't give a goddamn what you think. But you actually care what they think about. It's fucking incredible to me. Not everybody, but most. You hear things all the time about posts and I deleted this because nothing disrespectful, just a truth that white people don't want to hear about how their forefathers were pieces of shit. It's a fact. We can debate what type of person you are if you celebrate the way that they were, but have fun with that. Point being that I think that's the mentality of the average white person. And honestly, that soliloquy was the nice version. That was the nice version. That was the I'm a semi-decent person version. And this is the Underground Railroad Show hosted by your boy, that Ninja. I imagine there was a pause right there, but it is what it is. But I'll repeat it in case there was a glitch. That little soliloquy, believe it or not, as I'm noticing this pause, that little soliloquy, believe it or not, was actually the nice version, the so-called semi-decent person version. And I just thought about this. I didn't make sure the mod and I just started talking. Okay, nothing about bad audio. Okay, so I'm good. All right. I never did check that. Before I get into the chat, and I got so... Okay, and then this is the other side. Now, again, I'm not giving these names out. And again, it wouldn't be anything to do so. These people posted these things. But it's not really about that. It's about this thought process. Now, that first post, again... My daughter played volleyball with her daughter. My daughter may or may not consider her daughter a very good friend. They may still be friends to this day. They may or may not be some people. That may or may not be a person that if she comes home, they're guaranteed to see each other. Because that's her friend. I'm so curious as to what the years will bring to that friendship. I'm so curious. I find it hard to think with that upbringing that you're, you know what? It's real cute and somewhat compassionate, but all that long-winded shit at the end of the day is supporting somebody that preached hate. Because again, to my point earlier, white people are just not in total as a whole, majority, really not even that. I don't even have to say that. For the most part, they're not empathetic. When things happen to black people, you don't hear anything about it. There's no empathy. They gloss right over it. But this pouring out of compassion for Charlie Kirk, and there's so much wrong with that. You got the piece of shit in the White House. Some of the businesses that I do, don't you know their goddamn flags were at half-mast? Like when I heard a mast say that, I said, let me go ride around and look at this shit. Multiple flags at half-mast. Multiple flags at half-mast. A moment of, I think this was in our text thread or in a post. He had a moment of silence for this motherfucker, but didn't do that for, let me slow down. Let me stay where I'm at. Let me read this other post, give you a couple thoughts on it. I'll read some chat. I still have something else I have to say about this, but And again, I'm going to have a rant after this one, so let me try to be as concise as I can. Once again, this is the Underground Railroad Show hosted by your boy, That Ninja, speaking about the state of America. And quite frankly, whites run amok. I think I might have clicked it there. This post from a ninja, obviously. Okay, we can stop posting the Charlie Kirk video. Regardless of your political beliefs, this man has a family. Prayers out. Let me read that again. Think about, okay, we can stop posting, okay, French. We can stop posting the Charlie Kirk video. Regardless of your political beliefs, this man has a family. Prayers out. Okay, let's break that down. Okay, let's not speak French. Let's not speak French. Because I don't see enough of that when we need to talk about what they are doing. I don't see enough of that. It's always quiet. Secondly, we can stop posting the Charlie Kirk video. Why? 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 For what reason? Charlie Kirk, whatever happened to him, he brought upon himself. No black person popped him. Would have understood if they did, but a black person didn't pop him. Crazy ass white person did. That's what always happens in this country. So one psychotic white shot another psychotic white. Before he got shot, somebody was asking him about gun violence. And I even got something to say about, there's so many ways to go with this. I'm probably not getting sports. When I watched the video, and I was surprised it was still up, but when I watched the video and they were asking him a question, and correct me if I'm wrong, what about gun violence? And every time he said something, you know, fuck, I can use a prop. Every time he said something, he picked up the mic. You know, he sat it back down, you know, picked up, you know, he was like, then he put the mic back down. Okay. So they said, what about gun violence?
What about black gun violence?
That's what he said right before he got shot. They asked him about gun violence. He said, what about black gang violence or some shit like that? And again, that's another white deflection. And yeah, I've done multiple shows on that. I won't veer off into the gun topic. I'll probably bring it up at one point, but I won't veer right now. But right before he got popped, he shitted on black people again. They asked him about guns, and this motherfucker acting like black people invented guns. Every massacre that occurred in this country that they ignore, because when they talk about massacres and gun violence, they don't bring up the piece of shit whites. Again, they're writing the history book, so why would they bring up their ancestors and what they really did? They never earned shit. There are postcards with black people killed, strung up and dead as hell in the middle of the goddamn fucking downtown, in the middle of the fucking street. 2 niggas dead. Cut their dick off, because that's what they always did that. If you see a nigga hung, they cut his dick off as well. They cut his nuts and his dick off. Again, all the jokes about them being obsessed with our dick and people saying all this bullshit, really, that's because you don't know that they used to slice our shit off. And again, they tell the story, so that's not part of the history books. Why? That's not a small thing. If me saying it bothers you, then you kind of, that's not what should bother you. It should bother you that they did this shit, and now they're rewriting the history books to make a bunch of fucking psychopaths look better. Again, I digress. Can we stop posting the video? Let me stay where I was at, because I started going on a rant. Let me stop, because I forgot where I was going. But the whole can we stop posting the video thing. A crazy white person shot another crazy white person. We have nothing to do with that. And again, when I was watching the video, he was still talking shit before he got popped. Still, when asked about gun violence, which nobody has the whites beat on that. Massacres count as gun violence, even though you motherfuckers want to take it out the history books. Again, it's all for the image of white supremacy. It's all for that. But reposting the video of an act that somebody else committed means nothing. And if you are offended by that, I would love to see the post of you going off and saying, okay, can y'all stop doing the George Floyd challenge? Remember that? when George Floyd, again, Charlie Kirk was a race-baiting piece of shit that didn't give a fuck about me. Only a fool respects something or someone that doesn't respect him, so I'm not wasting any empathy on that motherfucker. Say what you will. George Floyd was minding his business, killed by somebody that was supposed to be law enforcement that knew him, that was doing that over something else, taking his time with the full assurance that nothing was going to happen to him, with a bunch of other bitches standing around him. And so many people fucked up mentally that nobody killed that motherfucker. He should have died right there on the goddamn spot. White people's response was, he was a criminal, laughing and shit. There was an infinite amount of white people with their children, parents videoing, doing what they call the George Floyd challenge. And I don't remember black people being outraged at all, because I remember how much that pissed me off. And before I go there, again, the George Floyd challenge, I brought this up multiple times because the reaction is not what it should be. White people watch the man get murdered on TV. Again, this goes back to me saying they have no fucking empathy. They watch them. Again, these parents are teaching their kid, hey, okay, Tommy, get on the ground. Put your knee on his neck. Oh, that's perfect. Oh, that's perfect. We're going to get more likes than Ted and Billy. They had their kids imitate somebody being choked to death because white America thought that was funny. But you're going to show empathy for this motherfucker? If the police had you on the ground and choked you out just like George Floyd, he'd laugh at your black ass. I don't think a lot of us notice how we only speak up when given permission. That post, no matter how many ninjas you heard it from, is a white narrative. Those same people that are crying over Charlie Kirk had their children doing the George Floyd challenge. They were having so much fun they couldn't contain themselves. They were laughing and smiling. That's something to post about, not that. Not that. Nothing we did caused that piece of shit to get shot in the neck.
What about black gang violence?
He didn't say gang violence. He didn't say white gang violence, which is more prevalent than anything. He didn't say white terrorism, which is the only terrorism that really exists in this country. Everything else is the parsley on a plate, is the parsley. You know, you got chicken, mashed potatoes, green beans, and some kind of yams or some bullshit, and you got some parsley. That's what black gang violence is, parsley. We got nothing on the whites. If we did, they wouldn't be here to talk all this shit. If we were that violent with guns, y'all wouldn't be able to talk all this shit. There wouldn't be that many of you here. Stop. The nature of white people is to be savage. And I can say that because of their fucking behavior. Our nature is peaceful. We're spiritual. I wish we weren't, but we're spiritual. If we weren't, there wouldn't be too many white people left. These motherfuckers threw a tantrum when they lost an election. But again, because I know history, I know that more than half of the massacres started because they lost an election. Which is why I continue to say they haven't changed. Trey Reed and Corey Zucaitis found hanging in Mississippi. Apparently, they're not related. Now, when I first read it, they said that Zukakis was a white man. Looking at this picture, he doesn't look white to me. And if for some reason he is, if he rocks his hair like that, he doesn't look it. So I would call that mistaken identity. But again, I probably saw a bullshit article. Looking at the picture, that doesn't look like a Caucasian person to me. But black people don't hang themselves. Bomb threats being called into HBCUs. White people, why? Why a white person did this? You should be calling in bomb threats to Trader Joe's, PWIs, Idaho, BYU, very white schools, which most of them are. You should be calling in bomb threats to BYU, Wisconsin, Idaho, Iowa. Why are you calling bomb threats to HBCUs? We didn't have nothing to do with that. Just any excuse to be the piece of shit you are, huh? I can't help it your parents didn't raise you worth a goddamn. I can't help it your parents had you doing the George Floyd challenge and now you've grown up to be a piece of shit. I can't help it that you watched police murder black people over and over again, so you know what? If they can do that, I can do that. That's how you create a Kyle Rittenhouse. by letting Zimmerman go on about his business. We can't fix a problem if we don't address it. And the point is that you don't need to talk around it. When your kids go to school, you need to tell them to watch out for everything, watch out for life. But they need to know they're in a hostile environment. And you do your kids a disservice with all of this bullshit speech. You should give them the real unfiltered so they're prepared for bullshit. Even when dealing with the police, if they know that this motherfucker's the enemy, instead of every time the police kill somebody, the first thing you want to fucking scream is all police aren't bad because you're more concerned with their feelings than our blood. Our blood, their feelings. Not a hard decision, in my opinion. Stop talking around shit, then maybe the people that listen to you or look up to you or that you teach and raise up will actually understand they're in a goddamn hostile environment. Half of this shit is being confused about all the bullshit you tell them about as long as you do this and that and you're good and all that. That's a goddamn lie. You're in a hostile environment. You can be doing absolutely nothing at all and get in trouble. And that's how it needs to be put so the kids will understand. Maybe they won't go out with white friends. Maybe they see some white people coming. Maybe they'll understand I got to have a weapon. There are so many things that can help prepare people mentally, but you can't do that with all of this. All of this truncated speech to make it palatable for people that don't give a fuck about you, and they've shown you that through their actions. Nowhere near I'm not even close to. I need to go other places with that, but let me do the chat room. Let me get in the chat room, and I'll go from there. And again, I'm doing my best and working on improving and revitalizing the soundbite game to make it more accessible, but it is a challenge. First man aboard the train, we got my man Jungle Brother on the train. What's going on, sir? Coming in saying that ninja. What up, diplomat? This show is right on time. Yeah, I'm super late, but I had to give you one. We got games tomorrow as well. I got a busy week. Hell, busy life. Here's what it is. We got free agent Raider for life on the train. What's going on, sir? I still need to get further into the book that you sent me, but I will do that. Thank you for coming aboard. Hope you are enjoying the ride thus far. Am I looking at that wrong? Okay, he changed his whole thing. Changed. Okay. Ha! Raider for life said Officer Ninja. Oh, the shades. The shades. I got you, sir. Jungle Brother said again, the shades is the eyewear is so I can work the board without looking so distracted. It's so I can man the board without looking distracted. Jungle Brother said Hollywood got the Ohio State backdrop that costs $170. 1 second, I apologize. My apologies, couldn't be helped. Like I said, life is life, and let me continue with the chat. And again, I thank y'all for coming aboard and rolling with me. Trying to start at a semi-decent time. And again, the reason I didn't get you the show yesterday and the day before is I realized at this point I need to start really 5 my time at the latest. I can start later than that, man, but I'm probably not going to get done what I need to get done with. But anyway, let me get back to the chat. We got Poetic Sins on the train. What's going on, Poetic Sins? Thank you for coming aboard. Hope you are enjoying the ride thus far. We got my man Sluggo the motherfucking Hammer on the train. What's going on, sir? Thank you for coming in. Raider for Life said, Ninja thorough. That's funny. Raider for Life said, Ninja thorough. Yes. Concise. Never. You know what?
You hear you? I hear you.
That's probably true. And even though it's true, probably true, but you didn't have to say it though. It's probably true, but you didn't have to say it. We got Mocha Bella on the train. What's going on, Mocha Bella? Thank you for coming aboard. Hope you are enjoying the ride thus far. I haven't seen you in a minute. Outside of TDSS events, which we always have a good time, I got to make it to another tailgate too. Thank you for coming aboard, Mocha. I'm trying to make sure I don't miss anybody because these colors and whatnot switch up. We got my main Rough Buff on the train. I'm sure he's very pleased with his Buffalo Bills right now. And as you have the right to be, sir. As you have the right to be. Well, I tell you, goddamn concise never. Hey, Raider for Life, though. I'm truly trying to be concise. I'm trying.
I hate niggas, bro.
I'm trying. Jungle Brother said, Rough Buff, go back to Canada. Mocha Bella said, Rough Buff, tell your Bills Mafia don't beat up on my Dolphins tomorrow night. Ugh. The Dolphins made a nice comeback in the last game. The first game, they laid down and tooted it up like a Kardashian. The last game, they were getting pounded indiscriminately. But, I mean, the first game. This last game, they fought back and they were right there. Bills playing pretty good ball. Other teams making some mistakes here and there. It's not helping, And you got, of course, they're going to do some things to help Josh Allen because that's what the whites do, like giving him an MVP he doesn't deserve. But, you got to deal with that. I mean, Justin Fields is in concussion protocol. The reason is because the Bills kept hitting him in the fucking head. They hit him in the head in the pocket. He slid, and the motherfucker jumped right on his head, and the referee looked at him smiling and shaking his head. But again, it's white people in charge of football. It's going to be fucked up. They can't help it. It's what they do. My humble opinion, they have to do that because otherwise white quarterbacks can't compete. So they have to give them unwritten advantages. Ninjas do not get the benefit of getting hit in the head, or they decided they don't like you, or they don't want you to do this and that, or you showed yourself to be a man. Whatever it is, there are certain quarterbacks that they let the defense tee off on. Well, it's all black quarterbacks, but every now and again, some ninjas can get a call. Justin Fields rarely gets a call. It's like Michael Vick. They just kept letting people hit Mike in the head. And people just acted like they didn't see it, but, at any rate. Raider for Life said, this post speaks to what you are talking about. Oh, okay, he got a post. He got something in here. I'll readdress this, sir. Okay, you got that in the thread. I have to address that because I don't even think I can. I can't punch that up on here. I'd have to go to the computer, which I'm not going to do right now. Sluggo said, if voting could solve our problems, it wouldn't be an option. It wouldn't be an option that's given to the masses. I agree.
You hear you? I hear you.
You can say that voting is part of it, but and it's something that I've always disliked. It's the lack of detail. I've always disliked the lack of detail. It's like, I remember growing up, and a lot of you probably heard this. A lot of older people told you to get into computers. But tell me why. Get into computers because. Elaborate. I mean, I know you're giving me good advice, or in your mind you are, but elaborate. And in that situation, elaborate. Vote and take action. Vote, but you have to ask for something. Since you said that, it goes, and I'll make this point, like the Charlie Kirk thing, and and a lot of black people sharing that, feeling the same way that particular individual did when they made that post. I saw more vitriol, more posts, more I don't care what you think posts. I saw more I don't care what you niggas think. I don't care what you niggas think posts. I saw more vitriol. I saw more angst and people being upset over black people saying, we need to ask for something from the Democrats, or holding Democrats accountable. The same people that are quiet on Charlie Kirk or think we should let it go or doing the prayer Western Christianity thing, y'all have more vitriol towards black people that actually felt like you should ask the Democrats for something or just not vote for them blindly. And when that was brought up, we got people responding like a white person would do. You like Trump and all this. That's a white response, an unintelligent, emotional response. Let me ask you this. Do you think you're a second-class citizen? I'm just curious, because if you're not a second-class citizen, why do you accept second-class citizen behavior? Every other group, including the made-up ones, gets something. They get represented. They get talked about. Politicians won't discuss black issues because it's political suicide. That's because the unwritten rule is these are second-class citizens, and if you address their problems, you can't have this job. So that's what you're really saying. So why the fuck are you yelling at me? I'm not a second-class citizen. I know that. Therefore, I don't accept. I'm not going to just say, I'm going to do something just for black people. No, I don't accept that. You do something for gay people, Jewish people, women's groups, Asian people. Every group you can think of gets represented. But what they're telling us is you can participate in the voting process, but we're not going to treat you like an actual citizen. I don't believe I'm a second-class citizen. Therefore, I think I can ask my politician for something. If you have something to the contrary, please let me know. But don't give me any of that bitch nigga shit. None of the bitch nigga shit. None of the, oh, you like Trump. That's very white of you. No, I'm intelligent. If I'm going to vote for you, I need you to do this for me. I need you to at least address this, speak on this. Pretend like you fucking care. But to yell at people asking for that? If you think you're a second-class citizen, which is what you have to believe to accept a politician telling you, I will do nothing for you, you have to believe you're a second-class citizen. So if you do, why the fuck are you worried about voting? You're a second-class citizen. It doesn't do any good for you anyway. But if you are truly an American, which is what I hear, racism doesn't exist, which I hear a lot of black people might say that nowadays, which is crazy, but it happens. If that is the case and you're a citizen of this country, then why the fuck can't you ask for something? If you keep voting for somebody and then saying, okay, do whatever you want, how the fuck can you expect things to change? You can't say if you want things to change, vote, but at the same time, scream at people that want to ask for something for their vote. I don't get it. Y'all, that's one of the things that confuse me. Again, are you a second-class citizen? If you're not, then act like it. It's actually okay to say, Kamala Harris, Barack Obama, I need you to do something about police murder. It's not brutality. It's racism in the police department where they have free reign to terrorize black people. Fix it. Hold them accountable. That's all you got to do. You terrorize a black person, you lose your goddamn job. Simple. If you don't, free-range white people will continue to cause problems. Don't you see what's happening? Don't you see how much a lot of them hated to pretend to be decent? And now they feel like they can do it because, again, they're fighting back. So hard to be an American white. God damn it, let's fight back. How dare you tell me I can't be a piece of shit? What do you mean I can't be a piece of shit like my great-granddaddy? That's so racist that I can't say how I feel. I'm so oppressed. Yeah. If you screamed at black people and did that white thing where you told them you like Trump and you hate women because you're not a dumb bitch that what you're supposed to ask for things. You're supposed to ask for things. Wow. Now again, if you're a second-class citizen, fine. But if you are a second-class citizen, I don't know why you're voting. It doesn't work for you, second-class ass motherfucker. What are you doing? Fucking weird to me, but just continue to do the same stupid shit and vote blindly for a party that doesn't give a fuck about you. Now, again, since I'm not stupid, I can tell the whole story because I already know the bitch-ass response, so let me just do it now. Yes, appearance-wise, the Democrats are a little better than the Republicans. But being raped with a condom and being raped without one, Neither one of those are good options. As I've always said, Democrats and Republicans are the same. The only difference is Democrats might talk to you a little bit, rub your shoulders, ask you about your day, genuinely pretend like they care about how you feel. They'll probably even offer you a reach around, some lubrication and protection. A Republican's just going to jump in there and start pounding away. Either way, you're getting fucked. And if we can't say, if saying that causes more vitriol than I've seen for that white motherfucker that took one in the neck, we're nowhere near where we need to be mentally. And if that offends you, once again, we're nowhere near where we need to be mentally. But okay. Mo said, if anyone is coming to Florida for vacation or business, we are now an open carry state. So don't be alarmed when you see folks with their powwow walking down the street or going anywhere. Oh no, Mocha, we in the South. And but thank you for that info. Thank you for that info. And being in the South, well, basically when Black people started, and again, this is what the country's always done. In one quick second, I have to adjust the air. It is a tad bit warm. And as a matter of fact, I bet you that's not in here. Of course it's not. Let me check something. Well, I should not have adjusted that air because I can really feel it now, boy. It is warming up. Now, when you think you're good and then you adjust the air for no damn reason, now I'm hot as hell. I can probably see these beads of sweat on my damn head. Me, one quick second. Let me adjust this damn air. And I also need to I'm going to move this at one point. But, okay, again, like, now, if you want to take the unintelligent route and pretend like I just said don't vote, because and I won't jump to that, but let's just say a lot of very grown-ass people reacted very white when you simply tried to have a discussion about simple shit. And again, you know what? I didn't really, there was one more thing, and that I didn't even finish with that post, and I'm sitting there reading these chats. This thing is moving. This shit is crazy. Okay. Little slowness on the computer's part, but it's all good. But let me address this part. I talked about the George Floyd challenge when he said stop posting the video. I think one action is completely different than the other. And that last part, regardless of your political beliefs, this man has a family. That is Caucasian. And again, that I'm not saying this was done intentionally by this person, but that's white speak. That's the same thing they try to say when they're bullshitting. This isn't about political beliefs. Again, I hate that cop out. This is not about political beliefs. He used I hate nigga hate speech. Race baiting ass speech. That's what he did. This was not about politics. This was a piece of shit justifying all the things that happen to Black people, laughing about it in a public forum, pretending like he's having a fucking debate. And again, if that's a debate, then why are the same people that are giving that a pass, why were y'all 38 hot at myself and other people for actually wanting something from our politicians as opposed to saying they're Black, vote for them? And again, you have to understand, I'm going to vote for them, but it's okay to criticize people. Like and again, you might not be intelligent enough to do it, but let me tell you how my brain functions. Did you know I could criticize somebody and still talk about the good shit too? Did you know that was possible? Did you know your brain functions that way? I can say this person did these things that I like, but these things are unacceptable. If you sign off on a bill that disproportionately puts Black people in the system because your kid might miss school, there is no reason for a parent to go to jail if their kid is missing school. That shit doesn't matter that much. It doesn't matter. This is tied up in money and other shit. It's not that big a deal. And to try to force it and make sure it happens, you're not helping the kid by putting that goddamn parent in jail. So what? So they can get in the system so that the system is so much better for the kid. Y'all really care? Anybody enforcing that law doesn't care more about that fucking kid than their parent who's probably working and trying to get bills paid, and you mad because they don't got time to watch their kid every fucking day and they might skip school. She signed off on that shit. And if you can't at least admit in hindsight that was a terrible decision, you're not somebody I can relate to. If you sign off on police not needing to wear cameras, and if you say she had to do that, she was a DA, I don't think you understand life. I have to sign off on people murdering people that look like me because of my job. If that's the way we think, again, I'm trying to figure out why you're talking about voting and change. I'm trying to figure it out. This is a hell of a glitch. That is such a pause. I must have a pause going on in here because that is a mean glitch. This system annoys me at times, boy. I tell you, I miss my old platform. And I apologize if I have a pause right now, which it appears that I do. God damn it. No, I don't. Sorry about that. This thing appears to be fucking sticking. I'm trying to make sure. Completely forgot about that. Apologize. I am looking at this and trying to figure out why my that's a long pause. Okay, I'm sorry. But again, the political belief, this is not about political beliefs. That's a cop-out. To say political beliefs is a cop-out. He wasn't talking about fucking politics. Go back and listen to the shit he was saying. But again, it's okay for white people to openly support motherfuckers like that. This man's on time crunch. It's okay to openly support people like that, but the average ninja in a good position in life wouldn't want to take a picture next to Farrakhan because that might reflect poorly on them or might cost them some bread or some shit like that. That's just kind of crazy. But to me. And as I was trying to do something, that was a hell of a pause, man. Something got to be done about that. All right. Let's go. So much happening in the background. Where we at? Where's my girl at? This is Underground Railroad Show hosted by your boy that Ninja. Forgive me, I'm making one adjustment. Carol and the Sun. Okay. Carol and the Sun. Where is it at? Ah, there you go. Sorry about that pause. Okay, let me continue with the chat. First, I'm going to run this quick clip. I have to do something real quick so I can continue this show without interruption. This is the Underground Railroad Show hosted by your boy that Ninja. Hour in. And boy, that is moving at a snail's pace, boy, I tell you. After all that, did you really tell me my damn thing was full? Shit. You gotta be fucking kidding me. I apologize, man. I really miss my old system. I really miss it. Okay. I really miss that old system. I'll tell you what. And let me continue with chat until I can get that situated. That is a damn shame. Where we at here? Damn chat room jumping around. Red flag post. Okay, I just read the post about Mocha and the open carry. Oh yeah, I was gonna say, but yeah, being in the South, we have a lot of open carry down here. And the other side of it is, as soon as black people started registering to vote. No, I'm sorry, going and getting their pistol license. And when black people started going to get their carrying permit, white people just said, "Well, fuck it, you don't need your permit anymore." Like this country's always been the same. The only reason they made a gun law is because black people started having guns, and they didn't want us to do to them what they deserve. They took everything and murdered us and terrorized us for years with weapons that having the advantage of guns and crooked police department, which they still have, crooked ass military, which they still have, but they're funny. I was just laughing. I was laughing when black people got their gun permit in just crazy numbers. They just said, "Fuck it, you don't need it anymore. Everybody can have a gun and you can carry it." It's just That it's goddamn, it couldn't be more obvious what they're doing, I swear. They could just wear a sign and say, fuck all y'all niggas, to be honest with you, with the way they're acting. Sluggo said, suddenly social media is so poisonous and the cause of violence. How do you explain 99.9% of white America's violence pre-social media? It's nothing but deflection. Yeah, exactly. And I can't believe somebody tried to sell that shit. Nothing but deflection. Nothing but. Sluggo said they can excuse the George Floyd challenge, but are appalled that folks are mocking a hate-filled MAGA lover. Exactly. And again, this is because of the slow IV drip of mental warfare that we deal with on a daily basis. But with so much evidence to the contrary, I get it if you don't know. But once you're equipped with information, it's surprising and shocking that people still have that mentality at that point in the game. It is surprising. And let me say this, at one point, y'all are going to look up and I'm going to have a different background. Don't worry about that. Just go with the flow. Just go with the flow. Sluggo said, over talking people with a bunch of canned racist commentary is far from debating. Exactly. Exactly. But like I said, that post is just a deflection of the way black people are naturally. Even when we should be, we're just not an angry and hateful people. We're just not. Should be at times, but we're just not. Coming aboard the train to his traditional bomb drop for slapping the sauce out of his wife's hands when she tried to apply it to my ribs. True story. True story. There were witnesses. I give you none other than the great. I give you none other than the what would I call it? The czar of Facebook posts. None other than Sidney Jackson. What's going on, sir? Then they got some Facebook posts for your ass. Maybe one more. Sluggo said, white on white crime, and the first thing they do is threaten a bunch of HBCUs. Did anyone call in a threat to Utah Valley? Once again, misdirected rage in Amerikkka. And again, sir, preach. 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 Oh, wow. Yeah, I'm definitely not getting football. Okay, I apologize. Give me 1 second here. Let me play something for you that tell you what, as I look at that, I still need to do some. Let me read some more chat because I have to do some more with that. So it appears the computer has finally stopped acting stupid. Okay, this motherfucker stopped whatever the hell it was doing. Jungle Butter said that was Uncle Mike post, aka Craig Pryor. Wanting blacks to leave CK's unaliving alone. Oh yeah, that's who it was. That's who it was. That's who it was. But I mean, it's just to me that I saw more vitriol for black people that actually had enough sense to say we need to ask for something from the Democrats. And if you don't understand the put a black face on it so they won't act up game yet, then you really need to study this country a little bit more. When Marcus Garvey was trying to uplift people in this country, A. Philip Randolph said, and I quote, the biggest threat to black people's trying to think of the proper term, progress in America. The biggest threat to black people's progress in America is Marcus Garvey. A nigga said that. They've always had a black person to stand up and say the things that they want. They've always done that. When they bombed Philadelphia, correct? When they bombed Philadelphia, it was a black mayor that gave the okay. When they bombed the MOVE movement, they've always done that. And to not understand this game at this point is fucking crazy. You got to understand that game at this point. You have to. Rather, you need to or you should. Let me just say that. And this is the Underground Railroad Show hosted by your boy, that Ninja. And I'm going to play a couple of clips. And again, I played these before, but they're par for the course, not par for the course, but they're perfect for this subject matter. And again, um, they just show another example of how the lessons that we need are here. We just have to go to the proper sources and digest the right information and reject everything else. And again, dismiss everything. You know what? I won't do that right now. This is the Underground Railroad Show hosted by your boy, that Ninja. Give me 1 second and we're going to be right back with you. I'm going to give you Carol Anderson and another female. Sorry about that. Carol Anderson and another professor whose name I do not have, and I apologize for that.
Don't see it. And so I set out to blow graphite onto that fingerprint, to be able to trace white rage throughout time, not all the way back to time immemorial with the dinosaurs, but at least up to the Civil War, all the way through to 2016. And one of the things that became clear to me as I started thinking through how white rage works, it became clear to me that the presence of black people was not the trigger for white rage. There's that stunned, almost, what you talking about, Willis? Look. It is the presence of black people with ambition. The presence of black people with drive. The presence of black people with aspirations. The presence of black people who achieve. It's the presence of black people who refuse to accept their subjugation. The presence of black people who demand their rights. That's the trigger for white rage. And this society has therefore punished black resilience and black resolve.
What do you do with all of this written literature and history that says that Abubakari II of Mali sent 200 ships to the west? One came back and said they were afraid that the others disappeared. And then to have Balboa find this village that looks just like Mali, where he was, what do you do with this information? You ignore it. You ignore it. Why? To preserve the myth of white superiority. That's what our whole educational process is devoted to. What do you do with this whole history? This is a written history, my dear. Written. I'm not talking about hearsay. I'm not talking about a griot said this. I'm not talking about something handed down from one generation to the other through voice. I'm talking about written history of the Egyptians. What do you do with this? You ignore it. Get your ass down!
This motherfucker froze. Battery still good. Got my signal. It paused too. It just popped on. Slowly but surely. Slowly but surely. All right, testing 1, 2. I think y'all can hear me. Looking at this video feed, it just hasn't popped up live yet. I apologize for that pause. Some of that was just the feed acting up, and it's still not running, but I can tell it's about to start because I see my motion over here. And there it is. All right, so let's see. I don't see my clock moving. Let me check. Okay, got a thumbs up. Okay, we're good. Let me continue with the chat. And this is the Underground Railroad Show, hosted by your boy, That Ninja. Once again, speaking about Charlie Kirk, speaking about some of the reactions, read a couple of posts, one from the parent of a former teammate of Baby Girl. And I think that was a good example of the mentality of white America and how they white-splain and or apologize for calling ignorance and hate speech debate. But that is per tradition. That's per tradition. Let's continue with the chat. If we're done with these pauses. Okay. I'm still seeing a pause on this. Y'all with this ace. And we still, but this thing with this little glitch. All right, here we go. What up with it? What up with it? Okay. Read that one. Where we at?